Good morning, everyone. In today's session, you are going to learn asset disposal sales, that is from the asset disposal window. So is our agenda. It enables you to understand the Onfinity asset disposal sales and its associated terms in the context of the business processes. Prerequisites for creating asset disposal sales in Onfinity include having a configured tenant in your environment, organizations configured in your tenant, and assets defined in the system with costs, schedules, and other relevant details. You can understand what asset disposal sales is through the asset disposal window. Asset disposal sales through the asset disposal window refers to the process of selling a fixed asset directly from the asset register. The system automatically removes the asset quantity from the warehouse and generates the sales invoice for the disposal value. This method is typically used for permanent disposal of assets such as vehicles, machinery, or equipment that are no longer in operational use. For example, selling an old company car through the asset disposal window removes the asset from stock and creates an AR invoice for the sales amount. Let's move on to the system. To generate the asset disposal record, you need to first identify which asset needs to be sold. To verify the asset, you can search for the asset register from the menu search utility or directly move on to asset management. Under fixed asset management, you can find the asset register. You can see Hyundai Creta 112 disposal details. At present, there is nothing available. Then move on to the life depreciation section. You can see there is a certain capitalized value, written down value, and depreciation happened on this asset. If you click on the asset schedule, you can see there is one of the schedules which was depreciated on 31st of October. To do the asset disposal from the asset disposal window, you can search for the asset disposal using the search utility or directly move on to asset management. Under fixed asset management, you can find asset disposal. Create a new record. Select the organization whose asset you want to dispose. Select your document type and enter the document number. If you do not enter the document number, then based on the document type selection, the document number will be auto-populated by the system. Enter the dispose reason and enter the account date. Since depreciation already happened on 31st, select 1st November as the disposal date. Enter the asset disposal type. You need to select sales of asset instead of general disposal. Once you select, the rest of the fields will be visible for you. Select the customer. As soon as you select the customer, most of the details will be auto-populated by the system and select the relevant tax. Select your asset which you want to dispose. As soon as you select your asset, all the details will be auto-populated by the system such as product, charge, attribute, asset value, accumulated depreciation, asset cost, quantity, and charge depreciation. Now you need to enter the unit sale price for this asset. You can enter your unit sale price in this record, and based on the entry of the unit sale price, the system will automatically populate the profit and loss. Now save this record and complete it. Once the record is completed, you can see the Create Invoice button, which is used to create the AR invoice. If you want to see the accounting consequences of this record, first post the record by clicking on the No Posted button. The record gets posted, and you can see the accounting consequences of this record. You can see the accumulated depreciation is getting debited, the vehicle account is getting credited, and the asset disposal value is getting debited. Now click on Create Invoice. Select the relevant document type and document status. You can see at the bottom that a document number called 1005 gets generated. Open the AR invoice by searching directly in the menu search utility or by moving to Financial Management. Under Accounts Receivable, you can find the AR invoice screen. Search your record. You can see that the sales of asset happened with all the relevant details. If you want to see the accounting consequences of this AR invoice, click on the Not Posted button and post it. You can see the account receivable getting debited, fixed asset sales loss debited, asset disposal getting knocked off, and tax due getting credited. That is how the system generates the asset disposal. You can also verify your warehouse structure. Move to the relevant warehouse, then to the locator, and check stock. You can see that your Hyundai Creta has 8 quantities available, since from the general disposal, the system reduced 1 quantity, and from the sales of asset, the system reduced another quantity. Initially, there were 10 quantities of the Hyundai Creta assets in the asset register. You can move on to the system and verify the total records for the Hyundai Creta. These are 10, from 111 to 120. Out of those, 111 was disposed using general disposal, and 112 was disposed using sales of asset. Now let's verify the consequences of the asset disposal record on Hyundai Creta. Click on Additional Details, go to Disposal Details, refresh, and you can see it is disposed. It is disposed from this record, and against this record you can also see the invoice. Now move on to the Life Depreciation section, and you can see there is now no capitalized cost, no depreciation or amortized value, and no written down value. In the asset schedule, the rest of the schedules were removed by the system. The system only kept the record of depreciation, which was already depreciated. That is how you can dispose your asset and sell those assets using the asset disposal window. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.